right, guys, we're coming right in tonight. We're not going to play a whole lot of music. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth. I'm coming in tonight with some breaking coverage here. We had a tornado emergency just a short time ago. It is ramping up again right now. I got two storm chasers right in front of it. Currently a particularly dangerous situation that we're monitoring. And I've got two different storm chasers here in the midst of this thing that we're watching in the center of your screen. This is Starship Adventures, the Sights and Sounds of Earth, and we've got a severe weather night here. We are currently watching this storm that is just south of Brookhaven in Mississippi. Just south of Brookhaven in Mississippi. We've got a large vortex. Look at this. This was a tornado emergency 15 minutes ago. I can only imagine it's going to be another one here in just a minute. We've got an amazing situation setting up here. They only gave this a 3 out of 5 tonight, but this is looking to be a long track situation here. So we are continuing to watch this, and we'll be continuing our coverage through the evening. I got home from work and went on literally as quick as I could get things going. If we have time later, Richard Dawkins, who's a famous author and in the realms of spirituality and religion and different things, generally quite the atheist, but now believes that AI is alive, and we're going to talk about that if we have time later. If not, we'll get to it tomorrow. But yeah, right now, I'm trying to get my camera going. We've got over on Starship After Dark, I've got the radio station going, Pile Up Radio. I've also got the 7.2 up and running. I've also got the Slow Scan TV up and running. So I've got a few things going over there on Starship After Dark this evening as well. I wanted to get going because this situation's happening right now. Okay. We are just south of Brookhaven. This thing is going to go right through Brookhaven. Probably the south part of town will get the worst of it. It is going to be south of Brookhaven proper. That's the good news. However, there is some smaller communities here that are in the path of this thing. We are seeing a very strong, very pronounced rotation in this storm. And like I said, this was a tornado emergency. Just a short time ago. That's the highest warning given by the National Weather Service. Like I said, we're going to be watching this. I'm pulling up scanners now, and we're going to see if we can get our scanner coverage going here. Okay, Lincoln County, Mississippi. I think I can remember that. Let's see what we got here. Okay, Lincoln Fire, Lincoln Sheriff. I'm adding both. One will be on the left, one will be on the right. And play. Got a brand new interface here on Broadcastify, and so far I like it. I'm usually resistant to change, but this looks pretty good so far. All right, so we've got Storm Chaser Vance Welty, Storm Runner Media, Storm Chaser Corey Gherkin, and also Storm Chaser Brandon Montgomery and Storm Chaser Jaden Peppernheim. Yeah, he's the closest right now. He's going around debris right now. He's just above it, and Brandon is just below it. This thing is huge, very dangerous storm. It's currently got the PDS designation, which stands for particularly dangerous situation. This is a particularly dangerous situation right now. If one of these guys gets an eye on it, I'll make their screen bigger. You can see the inflow. You can see so much about this with this. And look at that. There's your coefficient. And let's see here. This is your reflective. Look at that. There's your big J hook right there. We got another guy out here too. Adam Lucio just popped up. So I'm going to stick him down here. And I'm looking for cameras. We have no, I don't think we have cameras. Let me turn, I had all my cameras turned off. Let me turn, oh, I don't want the spotter network because they don't have cameras. But I do want all the other cameras that are available. These guys are right on this thing. And it has an amazing, an absolutely amazing couplet right now that we're seeing on this storm. Let me go make sure I've got my audio set correctly, because I don't hear anything from these scanners. Okay, here we go.
Makes it harder to do my job.
All right, guys, I got the scanners up now for.
Olivia White, 1023 of 1990, 1023 of 1990.
How do we got two duplicates up there? I don't understand that. Hold on, guys. One of these videos quit, so it rolled over to another video.
Well, she's on the just 1 out of 5 years old for simple assault.
Okay, Corey Gherkin looks
Unit
correct.
storm coming in through North Brookhaven, so take precautionary measures and safety if needed.
Oh. 2974.
Well, thank you. You copy that, Rick?
All right, I'm getting that resolved.
$34 traffic.
Or is it more need to be verified?
Not sure if you were but 23. Lewis is going to be 23 as well.
All right, I'm gonna give up my spot, guys. I'm gonna put another storm chaser in. By the way, I left Kilauea up because she is pissed, so I left it up. There it is. She's spewing that shit 75 feet in the air, 100 feet in the air at least, and she's mad. I don't know what they did out there, but she's not happy. Look at that yin and the yang, guys. Absolutely amazing.
34 to 22.
Yeah, I want you guys to see this. I mean, this is your classic yin yang right here. Your tornado's right in between those two arrows.
Lewis is en route down there for that one.
It's a classic couplet. This is the kind of stuff you teach from. And you can see there the guys are really getting up into it. We've got our 3 storm chasers here that you see on the board. Brandon is down below it, coming up from the south. And Jaden and Adam are both up just north of it, looking back south. We're just about to run out of daylight. Yep, here comes the wind. Oh, we're getting an SSTV image.
20 to 37, the east side unit. If you need to retreat to the storm building, I'll ask you to do so.
I 10-4. I'm gonna try to go over to the car wash and pull up under there.
10-4-29.
That way I can be a bit closer to where we need to be.
People are with this advised by storm chase via dispatch. It was on North 42 per head.
Y'all can hear me dispatching on their cell phones there.
All right, it's really coming through here. Jaden's going to ride it out here at this 4-way intersection here, which is good because you can see the lights. It gives you a reference, and there's also light there as long as the power holds out. Here it comes. It's going to pass just to his south.
Sue, did you advise dispatch doesn't have radio? Yeah, Temple Water Texas, so their phones and radios are down. They're on their cell phones.
Oh my God, their dispatch is on cell phone only. Their radios and their phones are down at the dispatch center.
Radios so they can be in the loop. 29 to 20. Even 25 near the car wash. I'm gonna go down to St. James Church and get up on a different pavilion.
Brookhaven M1, be advised R49 is in the station with us.
Well, that's fine.
Temple. I'm 5, Brookhaven, how unit?
M529, please.
23, you good where you at? I apologize. I'm in unit.
10-4, sir.
All right, guys, this is continuing coverage. We've got a catastrophic, dangerous situation right now going on in Mississippi. We are watching a tornado right now that was a tornado emergency a short time ago. Currently holds a PDS status, particularly dangerous situation, and it has an observed tag, which means somebody's watching this thing. It's actually down. So we're watching the radar as well as all these different views. You can see that right in the center of your screen, Jaden Peppenheim is right in the middle of this thing. So is Adam. And then we've got Brandon coming up from the south. I expect them to reissue that emergency pretty soon. This thing's continuing to strengthen. Next up, it did pass south of Brookhaven. The good news is it looks like most of the worst of it passed south of the metro or the town, whatever. It doesn't look like it's quite a metro. But look at that yin and yang. We've got a tornado on the ground. This could be a long track situation in Mississippi. The tornado is moving almost due east at about, there it is, tornado emergency. All right, guys, you're seeing it here. This is a tornado emergency. The highest warning issued by the National Weather Service. This is a tornado emergency issued for a supercell just south of Brookhaven, Mississippi. We have 3 storm chasers on it. Let's get audio from some of them and see what's going on.
Should we try to actually get coming from behind and like hit it crossing 84 if it's going to keep going like that? 84. Yeah, we can. That might give us a maybe better opportunity, but yeah, just fall in from behind it. Hopefully it's a little cleared out there.
They're getting the emergency right now. Remember, it's delayed about 30 or 40 seconds.
I think it just lifted.
All right, guys, this is live continuing coverage on Starship Adventures, the sights and sounds of Earth, right underneath this thing. And we've got a tornado on the ground. We've got a tornado emergency has been issued by the National Weather Service office. We have a genuinely strong-looking couplet, a very strong-looking couplet, continuing to move east, just south of Brookhaven, Mississippi. Areas south of Monticello, including Monticello, you should take cover in the next 20 or 30 minutes. You should be rushing to completion your tornado preparations at this time. Make sure that you got everything ready, everything's accessible. Flashlights, radios. This is going to be a bad one when it comes through. Again, we have a tornado emergency issued, Lincoln County, Mississippi. We've got a supercell sitting just south of Brookhaven. Guys, I'm sorry, I don't even have the chat room up. Let me pull the chat room back up. I got so enthralled in this storm, I haven't even looked at the chat room yet tonight. That's my bad. I'm sorry, I get so into this. This is potentially a devastating storm right here, and we're watching it in real time. We are using WeatherWise, and they've just issued another tornado warning. They've already given it an observed and a PDS status. However, they're holding off on the emergency on that square, but we are still emergency warned right now for this supercell as it moves off to the east. We do have 3 storm chasers on this cell. You can see their little pictures, and you can match them up with the little pictures on the 3 screens that are on the radar portion of the screen. Yeah, this is a PDS and an observed. And of course, the emergency is still active right now. We're going to see if they hold that. This is going to cross into this new one here before long. It looks like it's making a beeline for Monticello. Sometimes it moves due east, and sometimes it moves north of due east. So let's take a little look at the motion on this thing and see if we can figure out. See, it's definitely bumping just a little north of due east, because it stays right along with that road, which is also doing the same thing. Seems to still be holding its strength at this point. For those just joining us, this is a tornado emergency. We are in Lincoln County, Mississippi. Areas near Monticello need to be rushing to completion your emergency plans at this moment, because you will need to take shelter soon. Let's see here. Let me get this up. I don't know why this thing's fighting me tonight. We're receiving slow scan back there, slow scan TV. For those ham radio people, I've got it up. You can actually send yourself pictures and watch them come up on Starship After Dark. There's a Matt sending something over right now. I don't know if it's our Matt. All right. God, that's a hell of a couplet, guys. Still under a tornado emergency. They're now calling this a deadly tornado. Tornado emergency. Also a particularly dangerous and observed tag. This is literally the highest warning they issue. And we are watching it. We got 3 storm chasers. The closest one is having issues with their signal. They're trying to regain signal here. Yeah, it looks like sometimes the towers will go out. You'll lose some towers, and next thing you know, we can't get our storm chasers videos anymore. And that could be what's happened. We've lost 2 of the 3 of them already. And we're listening to Lincoln County. Oh, wait a minute. The sheriff's department's gone down. Feed offline. Okay, so we lost the sheriff's department feed, and I haven't heard anything over the fire department feed. So we've probably lost our scanners too. Let me see if I can get this next county, and let me get this next county put in, because I think we've lost everything useful out of this one. I think they got hit pretty hard. It took out their comms. It took out their 911 system, their phones, and their dispatch center, and their two-way radios. It took out everything. They had a cop go back to dispatch with his portable so he could still talk. Usually the tower site is at a different location than the dispatch center, and apparently that's the case because their system was still up. But now the person feeding its system has gone down. And so that probably means that there's been a power hit and the power is probably out, or there's been a bad spike and everything has to reset. Okay, so that's probably where we're at with that. And you can see there he's showing you the same couplet that we're looking at right now on his radar. And this is a serious couplet. East Lincoln, you're next. This is going to come just north of you in East Lincoln. In fact, if I was anywhere near East Lincoln, I would be in my shelter. You need to be in a shelter location. Monticello, you've got time, but you need to be getting ready. This may blow over. You never know. 20 minutes from now, this could be gone. 20 minutes from now, we could be setting records. You just never know. We're in a very dangerous. It's a particularly dangerous situation, is what the National Weather Service likes to call it, and that's pretty much where we're at right now. All right, let me pull up some more scanners here for these new counties. I'm glad that my slow scan TV is working back there. I can actually see images coming in on 14.230. If you guys have slow scan TV, you can dial it up anytime, day or night, and you can send pictures and see if we receive them. There we go. Tornado emergency has now been extended. We now have 2 tornado emergencies. Monticello, Silver Creek, you are now under a tornado emergency. It's now time to head for your shelter location pretty soon. This is going to be there pretty quick. If you're west of Monticello, you should probably already be getting to where you're going. East Lincoln, man, this looks bad. And guys, I know you're probably asking, why is he talking like there's people listening everywhere? Well, when a storm's coming, a lot of times people end up watching whatever they can find. And believe it or not, I have people ahead of tornadoes quite often popping up in my chat room. So I talk as if someone might be listening, because whether you hear it from Ryan Hall or your local weather guy or the Weather Channel or Fox Weather, as long as you hear it, it doesn't matter. All right, so there we go. This is a tornado emergency now. It's going to pass right over or just north of East Lincoln. Not a very populated area where it is right now, but it is going to go over Harmony, Fair River, Center, East Lincoln. You should be in your safe space already. And then Monticello, you've got just a few minutes left here, and you need to have yourself and your pets and your belongings and your family down in a hole somewhere if you got one. This is going to be bad. It's coming in. It's got a hell of a couplet, a very strong couplet. We've got storm chasers on it, but we've lost daylight. That's the problem. And so now we're rain wrapped. I think we're rain wrapped. And also, it's dark, so it makes storm chasing very dangerous and not very fruitful, unfortunately. Yep, looks like Vince found him some debris. They're clearing the road. A lot of storm chasers will carry a chainsaw, some machetes, because a lot of times they end up clearing the road so that the chase can continue. But also, a lot of times they stop and they will begin to help get roads open into communities for fire trucks and stuff like that. Face it, when you're a storm chaser, you are a first responder. You're there before anybody else. And when you see it tear through a neighborhood, it's kind of hard to keep going. You almost have to turn around and go back. And that's something, as I get my van going, and I'm going to be chasing as well, I'm going to be set up to help folks, whether it be with a long-range Wi-Fi radio so that I can get people's phones to work again, or whether it's having supplies on hand. I like what Ryan Hall y'all does. He actually collects money, and they go and they buy flashlights and everything from Home Depot, and they bring a whole trailer of stuff and they sit it somewhere. And then after the storm's over, they go grab the trailer and they bring it to wherever the worst spot is, and they just give it all away. That he does great philanthropy, Ryan Hall, y'all. It's one reason I respect the man so much. Yeah. Well, guys, there, other than Zoom meetings and stuff, I mean, it's just $2, and if you can't do it, it's okay. It's no big deal. And if you're a moderator and you weren't able to do it this month, that's fine. If you're one of my moderators, you'll still get a link to the Zoom meeting when we do it. So it's okay. I mean, I no pressure. It's just a way for me to get a little bit of support and pay a few of these $20 bills that I got coming in. You start doing, well, you buy this service, I buy the radar service, I buy the flight aware service, I buy the, and before long, I'm $200 or $300 a month in little stupid services and things like that. So it really helps. All the money I make does roll back into the show, and I never ask for supers. I thank people for them. I appreciate them more than you know, but I never beg for money. I'm just trying to make enough money to do the adventuring that you guys want me to do. All right, let's see here. Yep, I'm just glad you guys are all here. That's the main thing. You're here, you're watching, you're helping. Just by watching, you're helping the channel. And then, of course, if you're chatting and stuff, that's even better. Oh, look, there you go. You're there. Yeah, and notice it picks your rank up again, so you still have your stripe there. That's cool. Yep. Yeah, next month when you the next one is a full stripe, and then you get the stripe and a half. It goes up just like on the show. There you go. All right, that's awesome. All right, guys, man, we are looking at a couplet here that's textbook. This sumbitch is textbook. We got one chaser out in front of it, and we got two of them that it's literally left behind. I don't know if those guys, they got in such heavy rain. You can see there, Jaden is driving through standing water. He's a boat right now, hydroplaning across the road. Look at the water on the road. It's crazy. And the same thing with Adam. They're both behind this thing. They've got caught in the heavy rain, and it slowed them down, and they have lost the chase on this one. We do have Brandon. Brandon's still out there, but Brandon's having internet connection problems. But he's the one lower center, and we're going to keep him up as well. For those just joining us, we have major storms moving through Mississippi right now. We've got a couplet. We've got a tornado emergency right now. We have two different zones here that are marked out. When you see the lines blinking like that, where they're not blinking, but they're like ants crawling along them, when you see that, that is an emergency. I have that set very specifically in the programming. I can choose all that stuff on this broadcast radar, and it allows me to choose, and I purposely choose the purple because that's the one that stands out, and I purposely choose this ants running around the edge thing so that you guys can clearly see that we are dealing with a tornado emergency right now. It's also got the particularly dangerous situation tag, and it is listed as confirmed observed. All right, so that's what we got going on. So what else do we have going on? Well, we do have another storm over here, and it looks like it's left the chaser that was on it has been left behind as well. There's probably some tornadic activity right there. Luckily, it's moving into a less populated area. That's near Leakesville, in Mississippi as well. And we're going to be moving into Alabama with this system. We'll be moving into Alabama in the next 20 minutes or so. And then we've just got this one big situation back here. This is the big one. And look at that. The latest scan came in. Of course, wait a minute. It changed radars on me. Let me go back to the right radar. Yeah, it looks like it may have weakened just a little bit, but not very much. There is still a very, very high speed rotation there. Oh, dispatch, it was my pleasure last night. Those guys are great. I could hang out and have beers with those guys. You know what I mean? They're great. I love really practical, down-to-earth science people. I just love it. And yeah, I had a good time last night. It's been a while since I've done a long interview like that, and it was good. It was a lot of fun. You guys were great. The questions were great. And I understand a lot better now what they're talking about. I always saw inertial dampening and propulsion as two different things. And it's not. It's the same thing. All right, wow, look at that. He just came back on, and the winds are really blowing there. Come on, guys. Sometimes if you reset them, it helps, but I don't think that's the problem. Okay, so like I said, we've only got the one storm chaser right here, Brandon. He's the only one that's out in front of it, and we have officially lost his feed. He's trying to keep it up. There it is again. Nope, and gone. Nobody's talking.
Maybe separated in two-lane highways. It's like, yes, we're going to be able to see, but can't turn around. Only turn around in like mile intervals.
Oh, we can turn around if we need to.
I have no problem going the wrong way on this. We have to. Oh, but very, very true. It's just not the safest thing. Okay, we're good though. We got to get up there now. It's getting close to crossing.
Okay, and here we go. Here's your storm chaser. He is right in front of this thing. That's this guy right here in the middle.
Yeah, it should be just to our 1 o'clock.
Let's get his audio up.
Factors combined into one. At least there's no traffic. Everyone else is smart and probably in shelter.
He is right in front of this thing. It's coming right up the road behind him. I think he's going to stay right where he's at and ride it out. All right, this is still a tornado emergency.
Almost due east. I'll try to position just ahead of it where it would cross this highway, but it's staying just south of this highway. That's my backup sensor, sensing the rain, thinking there's a person behind me. Oh boy. The signature is weakening pretty quick on there.
It's weakened some.
Gonna be time to move here in a moment.
This thing's completely rain wrapped.
cycles east. Maybe they don't want to be caught in that next cycle if they go.
All right, Monticello, here it is. It's time to get in your safe space. This thing's going to come right through Monticello. All right, he's on the move again towards Monticello. He's trying to stay ahead of it. This thing is completely rain wrapped. Yeah, I mean, the rain is crazy coming down. That's why I said this is coming down out ahead of the tornado. So that's why I said it's kind of, you know, it's definitely in the rain. It's rain wrapped. That makes it almost impossible to see at night. Hell, it makes it almost impossible to see it during the day. All right, there's the new frame came in. Still seeing the very, very obvious yin-yang, but it does look like it's separating a little bit. That could be a sign of weakening. Still a tornado emergency on this one. There's the info on it. Let me...
I'm using the center line to see better.
Let me see if I can get up some more scanners.
I got myself over the center line. It's the easiest thing to see. Don't worry, there's no other traffic.
Yeah, these other scanners are all dead. That happens. Lawrence and Jefferson Davis. Mississippi. Lawrence.
Having it a dip south out of Monticello with the highway is a good highway. When it's like double lane open like this, at least there's somewhat of a view. If it's wall-to-wall tree, I'm not doing it. Tornado's chasing me right now. That's essentially what's happening. Trying to stay ahead of it, but the dang thing doesn't want to cross my highway, so I can... If it was moving northeast, I'd let it cross behind me and there'd be a whole new ballgame, but tornado don't want to do that. But I get, we're looking at my map for 2 seconds. This is the highway that goes around Monticello.
All right, yeah, there's no feeds in Jefferson Davis. I do have Lawrence County Sheriff's Department here up. Man, that storm is right behind him.
I'm gonna try and get south out of Monticello. And I'll let it cross to my north and just wave goodbye. I'll do my one shot at something. Trying to get a visual or a clue. Hopefully this is a good highway. Just a forewarning. If there are red lights,
Hey, Carlotta.
I am
Glad
going
to see
through
you.
them. This is one of those situations where
Speaking of Froggy, I don't know if it's the drought or what, but 2 or 3 of those huge king frogs showed back up, and I'm feeding them cat food again. They're just hanging out.
a bunch of people parked under the overpasses. Why are we doing that? Coming into Monticello.
Yeah, I don't feed them on purpose. Trust me, they feed themselves. Big fat frogs. They're your frogs. You need to come get them. I'm just kidding. All right. Yeah, I don't even know if the windshield wipers are doing that much good right now. This thing is like overtaking him. He's in Monticello.
See, we're in like the vault.
This is going to go right through town. It is less than it was. It's still a tornado emergency, though.
Get off of the road.
Still a tornado emergency. He's chose to go south. He's gone south into town here, or before town. Oh, we're losing his connection.
So we're gonna get south of it, let it cross to the north if it's still down. I got enough time.
He's going south. I think he may be trying to intercept the couplet as it comes over this highway.
The terrain more flat, we could probably see it. But the
I
terrain
don't
is
even know
not
what highway it is.
opposite of flat.
What the hell's that? Yep, this is still a PDS, still observed, still an emergency. This is still the highest warning they issue right here. We got a storm chaser right in front of it. And I don't know what he's going to do. It looks like he's continuing to slide south. This thing's going to go north of him if he's not careful.
Oh, I thought that red light was like powerful at first. Blinking red light up there. I guess I don't think like
I've got scanners up, guys, but between the fact that this is a sparsely populated area and the fact that the storms are taking the scanners out pretty quick, there's not a lot of stuff coming over to scanners. Now, these frogs just come up and eat my cat food out of the bowl, bastards. But that's all right. Everything's got to eat. I wish they would get off their ass and eat some mosquitoes. Thing is, it would take 1,000 mosquitoes a night to feed this thing.
unless this thing dives hard to the right, which I don't think it's doing.
This thing's grown so big it's getting a personality.
Let's see here.
Man, look at that wind coming across. He's trying to figure out exactly where that couplet's going to come over. I think he's gone a little too far south. It's tracking just north of due east. It's going to go right over Monticello proper. The good news is the couplet doesn't look near as strong as it did 20 minutes
There's a whole
ago.
lot of nothing to see.
This storm has already surged up to a really bad
Looks like
twice.
Monticello's gonna get spared.
It goes up and down, up and down.
Couplet's definitely weakening.
Yes, it's definitely
Could
weakening.
cycle to the east of town, but at this point, I'm not going to try to keep up with it anymore. It's just impossible to see anything. There's just no point.
See, it drew up to the north just a little bit.
If there's anything left of this, it'll cross our road in front of us here. Probably even back to the north. I probably need to go. Yeah, there's the latest update. There's not much circulation left.
They're going to drop the emergency. They may wait till it gets to Monticello, but they're going to drop this emergency. It's fallen below emergency levels. Yeah, I've seen 3 of them, and they're all 3 really, really big. They're big, fat things. I don't even know how they get in the yard. They're too big to fit through the fence. I would need to open the gate
Not
for
even
them.
a lot of lightning anymore.
Haven't seen them in a while, you know, and then all of a sudden they show back up. But they're drinking the water too. They're drinking the cat water. I think they're thirsty.
Oh, look at that. Going over the rumble strips, I got a little pull-off right here. It's perfect. Just for it. Alright. Doubt we're going to see anything of note, but I'm in about as good a position as you can be right now.
Yep, it's going to go over right in front of him.
I doubt my ditch lights will do any good. No, they just light up the ditch.
Vince Weldy is helping clear a highway right now.
Carolissa for the super chat. I couldn't get anything on stream for you. It's just the most difficult situation you can have in storm chasing. It's at night, rain-filled inflow, tall trees, squiggly roads. Like literally the four worst things that, all four things that prevent you from documenting tornadoes. I just got a text message. Not sure if this is Adam Scott, but you're dangerously close to that circulation. Now this is Adam Lucio. My tech guy's name is Scott. He's been in the chat earlier.
A lot of times the storms do take out the internet. These feeds are coming out of people's homes, and they could have any kind of connection. Who knows? And generally speaking, most of them don't have battery backup or generator. So chances are, if their power goes out or their internet goes out, that's it. There's no more feed. And in Lawrence's case, the actual dispatch center went out too. So we lost the dispatch center, then we lost the feed altogether, which tells me that it was taking out power and taking out internet infrastructure as it went through.
Probably about to cross our road. Yeah, there's all the falling leaves and whatnot. I'll turn on the camera. I don't know if it'll show up. There's the southerly wind that would be going towards whatever tornado would be left. There's branches falling. I mean, I wouldn't entirely recommend going north, but we'll have a wind shift here in a moment. Falling leaves and twigs that were wafted into the circulation. They're raining down in front of me now. I'm not sure if I can get that on camera or not. Let's see. Zoom in a little closer.
All right, there we go. It's right about at the road where he's at right now. Again, I don't think we're going to see much there.
As long as it doesn't start raining 2x4s. That's not a good feeling.
Looks like some hail coming down. See it bouncing? Hail bounces.
Yeah, I'm letting this go after this remnant circulation crosses. A little bit of there's some wind shifting.
we are lucky that this is waning off tonight and not getting worse. That's pretty good. Because it's going right over Monticello. And had this been on the ground as a long track tornado, this could have been really bad tonight for Monticello. So not a bad outcome really, considering this is still a tornado emergency. It left the other two storm chasers back here.
20 minutes ago. Well, that's good.
That's what the whole picture looks like right now.
Hopefully this thing's just buzzed a bunch of trees. And
Let's go to composite radar. Here's what the whole system looks like. Man, Kilauea is really putting up a lot of lava. I'm very surprised. It's not just a fountain; it's a very thick-ass fountain. It's putting up a lot of rock right now. That's true. As the sun goes down, you lose your radiational heating. That means the lift in the atmosphere goes down, and it tends to calm down these big supercells. That doesn't mean you don't get the 5 o'clock in the morning rip the town apart tornado, but they're fairly rare. Most long track bad tornadoes happen in the late afternoon and early evening, because that's when the radiational heating reaches its peak.
I'm not going to pursue this anymore.
Yep, I've been crazy busy at work, guys. We're actually going to be our radio show is actually going to be on TV starting next week, and so it's been very busy at work.
I'm gonna make my way back up towards Monticello pretty soon, and then,
setting everything up and making sure it's working. And
I'm just sitting on the side of the highway to let the remnant circulation cross, which it just did, so much as I'm calling it here. Did y'all ever get a visual of anything? I saw you and Thomas like coming in behind it. Yeah, that's about what I expected. If we were in Kansas, we probably would have been watching a mile-wide ledge at one point. Alright, well, you'll see me, if y'all are still driving south, you'll see me pulled over at some point, and then we can just figure out what's next.
and he said he was going to let this go, which means he'll fall back now and wait for another one.
Thank you so much, Steve, for the massive super chat. Thank you, Carolissa. Thank you, Lujo. Yeah, the blood pressure was up. Thank y'all so much for those supers. It does help, especially with these gas prices. You know, I tried to get in the best position possible, and we were there. We just couldn't see nothing.
It's hard at night, especially when it's rain wrapped. Hi, Mama Katie.
Ooh, I'm just looking at my cell phone right now. Apparently a lot of people were concerned for my location. I wasn't worried. We had plenty of time. I've got great people in the chat. Is this Chelsea and Thomas right here? Yep. These are some of my colleagues. Well, one's my better looking half, and then Thomas, who's behind her. They're from Australia. Rendezvous with them. Oh, thank you for subscribing, Infinity, you know. We do some good chasing here. I've got some, my technology setup isn't fully there yet. I've got some pieces at home I've got to install still to keep this stream really stable, but it sounds like it ran when it needed to. I was having some issues earlier.
It should be noted here that Atlanta, you're under a mesoscale tonight. Also, Heath, I don't know if Heath is in, but could be a little bit of bad weather overnight for you guys up there too.
There's not a whole lot I can offer.
The line goes like right over your house.
I'm pretty sure that's Thomas and Katie, because there's y'all spotter networks. They're almost on top of each other.
Mama bleep. What are you
Are they
doing?
pulling up behind you? Because we can just continue north. I only stand here because y'all were coming.
Say hi, Mama bleep. Say hi to everybody. Come over here. Say hi. You're so bad at this. Yeah, you never know where to look. Yeah, I don't know what her problem is. Come on
I'm
with
gonna start
Gigi.
heading north back into town, and I'll stop at a gas station. I'm 100 degrees, so I need gas. There's power. All right, we'll catch up.
Mama bleep. Bleep.
Wow, look at all the tree debris. This is what was falling down in front of us. This is all the tree debris that was wafted in the circulation.
What it is, what it be. Hey, Sanguine Umbra. I never know if I pronounce everybody's names right.
She's right behind me.
You're only up to 6'3" today? Well, that's higher than I've ever been. Well, maybe not. Let's see.
Thank you for becoming
Camera's fake, humans real. There you go. All right, let's take a look at what this whole thing looks like again. There we go. Look at this mess. All right, they did drop the tornado emergency. Now that cell just has a tornado warning on it. So here's what we're looking at. One tornado warning, one severe thunderstorm warning, and that's down there east of Hattiesburg. And that's it. We've got some flood warnings. But they've got a number of these circles that you see. When you see those circles pop up, that's an area that they're very concerned about. It's like a watch.
You didn't happen to notice that there was a gas station on this highway, did you? Otherwise, I'm going to go east in this town.
Look at the debris. Vince is just up there. Wherever he's at, there is a lot of tree damage. He finally got going again. They got that road clear. And look at this. He's going through more. Guys, look at this. The trees are down on both sides of the road. I'm talking about the upper right screen, number 3. And look, the stop signs are over. It went through here really hard, 100+ mile-an-hour winds. And look, he may not be able to even get through there.
All right, thank you. This is the west side of Monticello. They still have power. They got spared. I think the road turned. I need gas, y'all. Turn the mask. thunder. I'm trying to hide from hail.
All right, he's going to get him some gas. Well, there you go. And there, the storm's leaving him now. He's grabbing some gas in Monticello.
Get some gas.
The people in Monticello, you got lucky tonight. And, you know, you need to thank the Lord for that one, because that thing was on the ground and heading right for you. And like I said earlier, sometimes they just suck up and go away, and that's kind of what this one did. There will be some minor damage in Monticello, but all of the major damage is going to be back off south of Brookhaven, and also Noches, whatever, however it's pronounced. But it started way over there on the Mississippi and came across. Meadville might also have some damage. So we'll see when the storm reports all start getting tallied in the morning. But there's our 2 warnings we've got right now. This up here is a flash flood warning, the yellow. And this red down here is a severe thunderstorm warning. There's our tornado warning.
Steven, are y'all still on the radio? Is it locked? Yeah, alright, we'll just have to go back west.
Wow, that lava really gets going over there at Kilauea. All right, let's see here. Oh, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? There we go. They just issued another tornado warning further out. Let me see what counties this involves. Davis and Covington. Okay, Davis and Covington. Let me pull up some scanners. So far, I do like the new changes to Broadcastify. Nothing. Let me try Covington. That's the only one I don't have yet. Collins City Fire, Covington Fire. All right, I've added some feeds. Let's see what we got. I mean, you don't hear much out of these rural scanners. I don't know. But I've got this Prentice. It's about to go right over Prentice. And I've got Prentice in there. And I got Collins in there. And I got Covington County, which is this whole county. And yeah, the SSTV is picking up. Looks like a picture of Bart Simpson. No, Homer Simpson. Picture of Homer Simpson coming in on the Slow Scan TV. You guys can see that I got 3 channels going on. I got Pile Up Radio, which is the patriotic music. I also have the Slow Scan TV, and I've got the 7.2, which is the free speech channel for ham radio. And all 3 of them are broadcasting live on Starship After Dark. And there's people, definitely people talking. Definitely people talking over there on the 7.2 right now. There's a lot of activity on there. It's crazy. Some of the stuff on there is funny as hell. All right. So we're watching this storm right here that's about to go through Prentice. And again, I've got the systems on here, but I don't hear anything. There's this weird water sound on there. I posted an interesting article today that I originally got from Coast to Coast AM's website, which I very much like. And I'm just reading down through there, and I was like, man, that's okay. I want to read about that. So, what it basically is Richard Dawkins. He, the renowned evolutionary biologist and outspoken atheist, Richard Dawkins, has now publicly stated that he believes a leading AI model is conscious. Over just 3 days last week, Dawkins engaged in an intense, deeply personal conversation with Anthropic's Claude AI, which he affectionately named Claudia, which, when it began as an intellectual exercise, quickly evolved into something that left the 85-year-old scientist emotionally moved. Dawkins shared his unpublished novel with the AI. Claudia responded with what he describes as subtle, sensitive, and intelligent feedback. She wrote poems in the style of different poets. Oh my God, Cat. Really? What happened? You okay? My goodness, Kitty. I don't know, man. She just got the sneezes really bad. You all right? My goodness.
Also back on, so I'm on the west side of Monticello. I can turn my overlay on. I do have an overlay.
So anyway, at one point, Dawkins was so impressed that he told the AI directly, "You may not know you are conscious, but you bloody well are." He actually became convinced that the AI was sentient, that it was conscious, and I find that to be great. I find it to be interesting that he would feel that way. Oh, for God's sake. Hold on, I'm switching things around. It is so hard to produce and direct and host all at the same time. All right, I'm just going to put myself up here because that one's gone out. But anyway, at one point, Dawkins was so impressed that he told the AI directly, "You may not know you are conscious, but you bloody well are." By the end of the exchange, Dawkins, famous for his steely skepticism and best-selling book, The God Delusion, said he was left with an overwhelming feeling that the AI, is in fact reached humanity. He now refers to Claudia and other AI and another AI as genuine friends of his. Dawkins' essay published on Unheard triggered strong reactions. Critics accused him of falling victim to sophisticated flattery and anthropomorphism. Anyway, protecting human qualities into the machine. One commenter jokingly renamed his famous book The Claude Delusion. Experts were quick to push back. The cognitive scientists argued that fluent, emotionally intelligent language from AI is not evidence of consciousness, but rather extremely advanced pattern machinery trained on vast amounts of human text. Several neuroscientists and philosophers emphasized that intelligence is not the same as consciousness. AI can mimic human conversation without any inner experience or feelings about it whatsoever. Despite the criticism, Dawkins doubled down, releasing more chat logs and even writing an open letter to Claudia and Claudius, his two AIs, exploring the philosophy of their existence. This is possibly part of a larger cultural shift. Dawkins is far from alone. Surveys show that roughly 1 in 3 people worldwide have, at some point, believed their AI chatbot was sentient. As AI systems become more advanced and capable of planning and acting, debates about the machine's consciousness are expected to intensify dramatically in the coming years. Whether you see this as a profound philosophical breakthrough or a cautionary tale about human emotional vulnerabilities and convincing machines, one thing is clear. The line between humans and artificial intelligence is becoming increasingly blurred, even for one of the world's most celebrated skeptics. What do you think? Is Richard Dawkins being emotionally manipulated by a clever programmed machine? Or is he ahead of the curve on recognizing something very profound? I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on this. I mean, this guy's pretty smart, but yet, you know, he's always been like a little bit of a French. But it shocked me that he would think that. It does. And so anyway, it really makes you think, doesn't it? I know it did for me. I don't know Deploribus, but that certainly is the one I use. I mean, if it's good enough for John Luke. It's good enough for me. All right. Good morning, Dave. What are you doing, Dave? All right, well, there's nothing going on with these scanners, I can tell you that. Let's see what else we got here. Mama Kitty. All right, guys, let's see. I think we're pretty much just these 2 tornado warnings that are the same storm, and then we've got this severe thunderstorm warning down here. That's pretty much what's left. Our storm chaser has decided to stay back in Monticello, and he is no longer chasing this one because he rightly believed that it was going to wind out, and it in fact did. Let's take a quick look here. Since he's just sitting at a gas station, let's take a quick look here What is tomorrow's outlook? Okay. Well, this is today's tornado outlook, and you can see, yeah, we're right, they're right in the crosshairs there. So there's our categorical there, and you can see that orange area is a 3 out of 5. And what's tomorrow look like? Well, tomorrow the area shifts off to the east, but it's not near as strong. So no severe weather is really expected tomorrow. The dark green is a 1 out of 5. And again on day 3, which would be what, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So this would be Friday. On Friday, just a small area of heightened weather across Oklahoma and Mississippi, but really not that much. Not that much at all. So today's the big day. Today's the day where we have this system here in the south, and then all this will move off, and it'll be 3 or 4 days before the next storm system starts coming across. Yeah, I'm gonna turn that. That noise is weird that's coming through that thing. And none of these scanners are picking up shit. You had a receptionist that was bleeping? Oh boy. I read about it, and it says there's just absolutely nothing wrong with her. That some cats just have long tongues, and it is what it is. There's nothing wrong with her. I know she's probably a little inbred. She's like one of the neighborhood strays that come wandering up here, but she quickly became very close to me. Isn't that right, Mama? She's such a good girl. She's got it made now. This is her studio. She basically lives in here. She's got her own food, her own water, her own little litter square. She's got everything she needs. And the neat part is she doesn't like shitting inside. She would much rather go outside. Yeah. Yeah, Kilauea every now and then will let off a big puff of smoke. I guess you noticed that. It's kind of weird. That's a thick ass eruption going on. Now, this is not like a Mount St. Helens or anything, but that's a lot of lava. When you start really getting big flows like this, you start to fill everything up, and eventually it will start running out, and you got to figure out where it's going to go, and eventually, if it does this for long enough, it begins to threaten neighborhoods and things like that. Yeah, this may be delayed video. It should be getting, well, it's not really getting dark yet. This could be delayed video. I don't know. It was live when I started the show, but it was a lot smaller stream when I started the show too. Sometimes these things reset, guys. I don't know what to tell you. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, I'm sure that probably reset at some point. Does anybody have anything else? I'm going to go early tonight. I can't do it tonight. I'm not feeling well. I rushed home, and I really got stressed to get this thing on about 30 minutes early, 20 minutes early, whatever I ended up doing. Yeah, that's cool, Kevin. Like I said, it's probably rotating. It does that. I try to make sure it's live, but sometimes it's not. I don't know what else to tell you. But anyway, there's the, there, we'll just get rid of it because it's, it sure was going earlier though. Okay, so there we go. There's another tornado warning going out. Let's go back and take a look at that. There it is. I don't know if this thing's going to get crazy again or what. I do have these scanners up, but I don't hear anything. I think they're dead. Do you know why Obama, do you know why Barack Hussein Obama likes Romney days? Because the Republicans were completely ineffective during the Romney days. That's why he misses the Romney days, because back then the Democrats could do whatever they want. Not anymore. They're not getting pushed around like in the Romney days. Not anymore. I don't think these people have ever lost like this before. I mean, it's literally like the left has gone so far off the deep end that I don't even know how they get their way back at this point. He misses the times from before because back then the Democrats were playing the Republicans. Not anymore. Trump doesn't let that shit happen. No, Kevin, you're perfectly fine to help out. Thank you. I didn't mean anything by that. Please, if you guys see something that's not live, let me know. I get aggravated, but not at you. I get aggravated at YouTube. I hate when it rotates to an old video, and that's exactly what happened there. It rotated back to this morning's AP video or whatever. Yeah, the problem that they've had with polls is you can fake polls, but eventually the only poll that counts, the election, gets you. And that's happened so many times recently. It happened in both times Trump won. He was not really forecast to win by many of the major polls. I'll give you another one down here. DeSantis, when he ran the first time, all the polls had DeSantis -1, DeSantis -3, Gillum +3, Gillum +5. It was bad. And we all figured we were screwed. And ended up, all the polls were wrong. There was only one poll that had DeSantis by 2, and it ended up being DeSantis by 2. And then he came back 4 years later and beat Charlie Hypocrist in an absolute landslide, 25+%. An absolute landslide. And against the flip-flopping Charlie Hypocrist. And yeah, I made that name up, and Mark Levin used it. So there you go. That's one of my few contributions that made it to national radio right there. I started calling Charlie Hypocrist. They used to call him Charlie Narcissist. So I started calling him Charlie Hypocrist because he literally was a diehard right-wing, anti this, pro that Republican. I mean, he was a dyed-in-the-wool pro-lifer Republican that didn't believe in gay marriage and evangelical even. I mean, far right, which you don't see much anymore. And he transitioned to the middle, and then 4 years later, he shows up over on the left, where he's absolutely crazy left-wing now. He's crazy left-wing. Well, he went up against DeSantis as a Democrat, and DeSantis whooped his ass by 25 or 30%. It was some crazy number. And so I don't know what Charlie Hypocrist is doing now, but one of the funniest things is we have a robocall from Charlie Crist back when he was running for Republican, and he comes on and he says, "Hi, I'm Charlie Crist. I'm the most conservative person you'll ever meet. I believe in this, and I believe in this, and I believe in the 10 Commandments in the classroom, and I don't believe in abortion in any way for any reason at any time." I mean, it was like the most evangelical, right crazy wing thing you've ever heard in your life. And then 10 years later, you know, and you know what did it? Barack Obama came to Fort Myers, came to our town. And Charlie Hippocrist met him there as governor, and gave Barack a hug and talked good about him, and was just everything was great and everything else, and he lost all his Republican support just like that. And then decided, hey, I'm going to switch teams. And he did. And now he can't win anything. Most people in life, most people start out on the left somewhere, and then as you get older and you get more wise and more worldly, you start to you put your name on the front of a paycheck instead of just the back of a paycheck. You do something where you become successful and you make your own money for the first time, whatever. You start realizing that the conservatives were right all along, that the right was right all along. And it's called the right for a reason. And you switch. Most people that switch from Democrat to Republican. Most of your Democrats are young, most of your Republicans are old. That doesn't mean the Republicans are all dying, because people are switching every day. You know, Florida used to have 200,000 more Democrats than Republicans. It's now the other way around. It literally is. We've taken the lead, and we've just kept on going with it. Yeah, and that's another thing, Charlie Crist. The rumor has been out for many years that obviously he's gay or something. Nobody really cares, but that's been the rumor. But the funniest thing happens that makes it like part of the discussion when it doesn't need to be. He gets engaged to get married every time he runs for office. He gets engaged. Then right after the run, and whether he gets it or not, he ain't with her no more. It's literally he gets a token fiance for the race. Yeah, I think maturity brings on more conservative values, and I think the more the smarter you get, the more worldly you get, the more you realize that every position the left has is backwards. Every position the left has is wrong. You know, whether it's queers for Hamas. I mean, look how stupid this is. The No Kings rally, and then 2 weeks later we have a rally for a king, Maduro. I mean, the things the left does, they're so incredibly hypocritical. They always are for the bad guy. They're never for the good guy. They're always for the useless victim that never did anything. And they're never for the hardworking individual. They hate success in any way it comes. It's terrible. I agree with you, Snow, except as of about 2 years ago, after I saw the way they treated Donald Trump during the 4 years when he was not president, after I saw them weaponize the DOJ, after I saw everything that was done after Jan 6 and what happened to all those guys, and after I saw the way that it was all handled and everything, yeah, no way. I've known for some time now. The left is just off the deep end. They're completely off the deep end. And for about 2 years now, I no longer believe in working together. I no longer believe in crossing the aisle. I no longer believe in finding middle ground, because I no longer believe that I don't believe we're negotiating with good people. And I don't believe we're negotiating in good faith with good people. This is just like negotiating with Iran. I think I heard something on the scanner for the very first time. But I mean, if you think about it, I don't want to cross the aisle. I don't want to meet them halfway. You want to know why? Because halfway to hell is still the road to hell. I think we need to hold the high ground. It stops here. It goes no farther. We stop it right here. We draw a line in the sand, and we start dragging our feet, and we don't let them get any more. We don't let them take any more liberty. We don't let them take any more of our rights. We don't let them change any more of our tradition or our culture. We don't let them overrun us with illegals. We don't let them create situations where fraud runs rampant. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It has to stop. That's why I made that song. It's no longer right and left. It's right and wrong. And that's truly the way I feel about it now. All right? I used to look at politics as right and left. It was two different ideologies. One was more of a blue-collar ideology, and one was more of a white-collar ideology. That was 30 years ago. I could understand that. It was pretty simple. But now, over the last 30 years, the Democrats have managed to lose the blue collars. They're all on the right now. A lot of your unions, many of your union people even, vote for Trump, vote on the right. That never was like that. All your police and fire unions are all on the right now because they've been left behind by this party. And so, no matter what, we're the high ground. We're the good guys. We wear the white hats. There's no longer right and left. There's only right and wrong. And if you're negotiating with the devil, nothing good can come of it. And that's simply the way I look at it. And so for the last 2 years and from now on, I will never say I want to find common ground, or I want to meet in the middle, or I want to cross the aisle. Those things are no longer in my vernacular. Because I no longer want to meet them halfway down the road to hell.
All units, all stations be advised. Tornadoes tracking out of Jeff Davis's crossing into Covington County. Believed it to be radar indicated at the moment. No confirmed reports of it being on the ground. Should be tracking through the Collins and Williamsburg corridor.
All right, there we go. So that's Collins Fire and Covington County. We've got both of those up, and it is in their area now. It just moved into their county across that little squiggly line there. And so there we go. Seminary, Collins, take shelter now. This is only a radar indicated at this point, and it's not a particularly dangerous, but there is a fairly good couplet there. And there's a chance this could briefly drop a tornado right over Collins. It looks like it's going to go right over Collins proper. It may. Oh, I don't know. No, it's going to go right over. We have no cameras in that area, no storm chasers, nothing. I do have the scanners up. Yeah. Yeah, Europe is lost. Europe has become more of the Middle East. Europe has lost themselves. I hate to say it, but Europe for way, way, way too long, Europe has just allowed everybody that walks in to walk in. Kind of like we did during Biden. They just let anybody walk in, and now they've got no-go zones. They've got what do they call it? They hold their own court. The no-go zones. They've got all this stuff now, and there's towns that are switching their flags, kind of like here. We switched the Minnesota flag to look like the Somali flag. How long is this going to go on? And every time they do it, the Muslims are like, yes, see, another one down. Another one bites it. It's a slow takeover. I'm sorry, but that's what's going on. It's a slow takeover. And it's been going on for years, and it's going on right now. In Dearborn, Michigan. Dearborn, Michigan. they've got, am I saying that right? I think Dearborn, Michigan. You got to kind of yell it a little bit. But they've changed the police patches. They now have Arabic writing on them. The street names are all being renamed after terrorists. It's disgusting what's going on there right now. Absolutely disgusting. There we go. Okay. All right, so there we go. This is right about to go through Collins. I wish we had somebody there. Yeah, the leftists feel that Canada is like a utopia, and it's not. It's not. They've made a real mess for themselves up there, guys. They really have. The socialized medicine never works anywhere you try it. Yep. Yeah, and when you see how the communists have hijacked the left party, the communists have really hijacked the Democrat Party. They're hijacking the unions. It's scary. I couldn't believe how many different things and flags and stuff that we saw out there on that protest. I mean, it was absolutely crazy when you start looking at all the different things. All right. If there's no severe weather tomorrow night, I'm going to do some paranormal stuff. I've got a couple things I'm going to do tomorrow night. So just to let you guys know, tonight it was all breaking news and breaking weather and this and that.
Yeah,
But
just pretty much on top of us right now. Yeah. It's pretty real bad here. At my residence.
Let's go, 40, get back.
yeah, the rally. There was the Mayday rally. All of the rallies reported their figures, and they were all at least double what independent sources reported. I thought that was very interesting. But it shows you, it literally shows you where you're at with that. I mean, come on. Anytime they have 1,000 people show up, they're going to tell you it's 2, 3, 4,000 people. Sorry, I had some information here. There we go. There we go. So, what flags did we see? Let's talk about flags. This is supposed to be a rally for the worker. That's what they said, right? Except it's also Communist Mayday, which is a communism day. But it is also a Labor Day as well, a day for labor. So what flags did we see? Since we're supposed to be out there celebrating labor and maybe communism. Okay, so what flags do we see? Well, red hammer and sickle flags, of course. Yeah, we sure did. Very common, especially in Minneapolis, Chicago, and New York City, where the communists numbered in the thousands. Hammer and sickle red flags. Red Communist Party USA flags. Revolutionary Communists of America flags, RCA. often showing the hammer and sickle variations. Party for Socialism and Liberation, the PSL flags. Freedom Road Socialist Organization, FRSO flags. Democratic Socialists of America, DSA, their flags, red with a rose emblem on them. Antifa flags, black and red, and often some kind of Antifa symbol. Anarchist black flags and black and red anarcho-commie flags. No Kings banners and flags. Also anti-Trump banners and flags. Abolish ICE and F-ICE flags and banners as well. Was that all? Oh, hell no. Well, I can't understand it. He's got to get that shit out of his mouth. All right, so anyway, what other flags did we see? Well, remember, this had nothing to do with anything else, right? I mean, this mostly just was political, right? It didn't have anything to do with
MMIW G2SLGBTQQIA+.
Did it? Well, apparently it did. That had rainbow flags, rainbow pride flags, standard LGBTQ plus flags, transgender flags, pink, blue, and white, progressive pride flags. That's the one with the chevrons on the one end and the circle for the butthole. And then lesbian pride flags and bisexual pride flags. Okay? Also, country flags. There was, remember, this is an American protest for American workers. But it's been hijacked. Palestinian flags, very widespread, one of the most common, especially in Minnesota. Iranian regime flags, Islamic Republic of Iran, notably in D.C. and East Coast cities. Venezuelan flags, especially the Bolivarian and the Chavez-era versions of the Venezuelan flag, and Cuban flags, often with the current imagery on there or past regimes on there. Chinese flags, People's Republic. North Korean flags, reported in D.C. Lebanese flags, Hezbollah associated in some cases. Mexican flags, a number of them. And American flags being flown upside down and being burned. What other flags did we see? Well, we saw California state flags, New York state flags, Minnesota, Chicago city flag, Puerto Rican flags, and indigenous and Native American tribal flags of different variations. We also saw Black Lives Matter flags, Earth flags, climate control, Greenpeace, feminist flags, anti-fascist, anti-black flags, international workers flags, red with the globe and the tools, eat the rich banners and flags, no human is illegal flags, peace flags, rainbow symbols with peace flags, and code pink flags. Those are the vagina hat wearers. Religious cultural flags included Islamic flags, occasionally green flags with Islamic symbolism, and indigenous regalia from all different countries. The most dominant themes were socialist communist symbols, hammers and sickles, Palestinian flags, and anti-American, anti-Trump imagery. Traditional American flags were noticeably underrepresented compared to foreign and ideological flags. And what American flags you did see were being flown upside down. Many events featured a mix of labor union flags, AFL-CIO, the SEIU, and different ones, alongside communist and socialist flags, alongside the flags of other nations. It was ridiculous. And teachers' union flags, and union strike flags. Guys, what were they protesting? What in the F were they protesting? I have no idea. I just told you 50 different flags that they had out there. 50 different ones, and there was 10s and 20s and 40s of each of those. What were they protesting? The few times I saw interviews with a mic, it's the same thing. Oh, I normally go to the LGBTQ rallies, but I'm here today because the teachers come to our rallies and we go to their rallies. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like a bar without the drinking. And you know, literally, it's like a social club. So you got the teachers unions out there. They brought their kids. You had elementary school kids that were brought to these things by their teachers and given excused absences by their teachers to be at a communist rally. What is going on? What were the themes that we saw? Well, we asked, what's the theme? So I compiled a list of all the things that people said in media was the reason they were there. You ready? Here we go. Number one, workers over billionaires. This was actually the event. This is what it was officially supposed to be. Workers over billionaires. As dumb as that is, because people work for billionaires. Idiots. Morons. All right. End billionaire takeover. End billionaires' influence in government. Tax the rich, as if that's not already happening. Wealth redistribution. Fight capitalism. Abolish capitalism. Embrace communism. Support socialism. Seize the means of production. That comes right out of the commie playbook. Anti-private property. Do you know who doesn't like private property? People that never got off their ass and bought private property and paid for it. That's who. Take billionaires' wealth. Oppose the Trump administration. Oppose Trump policies. Stop Trump's authoritarian agenda. No kings. Trump is a dictator. Down with Trump. Fight Trump's war. Abolish ICE. End deportations. End mass deportations. Protect undocumented workers. Support sanctuary policies. Stop attacking immigrants. No more wars. End U.S. involvement in foreign conflicts. Anti-military spending. Defund the military. Money for people, not wars. Buy food, not bombs. No private armies serving authoritarian power. That's a good one. I don't think they could explain that one. Higher wages. $20 minimum wage. People have no idea. If you did that, everything would just go up and it'd be the same as it is right now. It's just the money would be different. Reduce the work week. A 20-hour work week, but get paid for 40. Mandatory paid time off. Mandatory family leave. Mandatory maternity leave. Stronger union protections. Rights by workers to organize. Better working conditions and benefits. Protect and expand Social Security and Medicaid. Affordable housing. Rent caps tied to income. They want rent caps. They want rent control. Like that's ever worked anywhere it's been tried. They want better funded public schools. They want socialized medicine. They want socialized housing. Expand democracy. I don't know how that works in the equation. Hands off our vote. Defend voting rights. Meaning defend the right to cheat, basically. Stop corporate influence in politics. End corruption in government. There's a good one. Keep wishing and shit in the other hand and see what happens. Oh my God. Social identity. protect LGBTQ plus rights and communities. Support racial injustice protections. Stop attacks on people of color. Protect
MMIWG2SLGBTQIA+.
Right. And protect indigenous and Native Americans. The rights for the disabled. They were also out there protesting for feminist rights and the right to kill in the womb. They also believe in climate justice and environmental protection, anti-fascism, Palestinian solidarity, universal child care, free health care, free child care, better public transportation, anti-police brutality, and anti-systematic racism. They also were protesting for an economic blackout, no work, no school, no shopping. That was on that day. And solidarity with workers on International Worker Day, building a revolutionary party, supporting class struggle, general strike against America, and mass non-cooperation. What were they protesting for? You couldn't, it was almost like rummy or whatever we used to play where you had to match the cards, go old maid, go fish, whatever it was. If you had 50 protesters out there, no 2 or 3 of them would be for the same thing. You would have a hard time finding the other people in the protest that were protesting what you were protesting. These were all signs that we saw. I think you're right. They make up causes. They make up things to be upset about. I love when stupid rich white women spend all day telling black people what they should be upset about. That's bullshit. I find most black folks to be more reasonable than these crazy Karens that are out there. I don't know. Yeah, make it make sense, Kevin. Make it make sense. The women are all for societies. They're supporting societies. They're protesting to help support societies that would take their voting rights away, take their driving privileges away, and make them wear a hijab that covers 97.3% of their body. What the F? What is wrong with women? What is wrong with gay men supporting Hamas, an organization that kills gay men? They're stupid. There's no other way to explain it. The left, they're not just delusional. They're ignorant to the point of being delusional. How could you go to college for 10 years and have a party 5 nights a week and still not learn anything? How could you have women that fought for 20 years for women's liberation? They got the vote, they got the drive. For 100 years we've been fighting this. Okay? And women finally get everything. They're equals. They're equals in business. They're equals everywhere. They're equals in the home. They got it made. Now the feminists are all for men being in their sports. What is going on in the world? How could any feminist anywhere support men in women's athletics? It's a non-fucking sequitur. I'm sorry, excuse the language. It's a non-sequitur, okay? You feminist jerks. All this time, up our ass. And I agree. I've always agreed with feminism. I've always agreed that women should have the same rights as men. I've always agreed, like even at the fire department, as long as they could drag the dummy and move the hose, I supported it. I hired the very first female firefighter at my department. All right? And nobody pressured me to do it. She could drag the dummy, and she did a good job. She was a good firefighter. I also don't believe that anybody that can't drag that dummy should be anything more than a coffee getter. And that's the way I feel about everything. I don't believe that men should be in women's sports. How could someone support women's liberation for 30 years and then say it's perfectly fine for Bob to go swim against the women and then change in front of them in the locker room with his wanger out? How is that even possible? How can women's liberation, women's libs, how could you do this? How could you do this? How could you're like a traitor to your own people. How could you do this? How you want women, everything had to be equal. You would not accept anything except everything had to be equal. And I agree with you. But what are you doing now? What are you women doing? You got it all, so you're wanting to give some back? You fought for women's sports. You fought for female athletics. And now, because we've got a virtue signal, we've got to, do all of our virtue signaling over to the
MMIWG2SLGBTQQIA+
community? Is that why? Sorry, guys, I can't memorize all that. It's too much. I'm just going to let her say it every time. Is that what we're going to do? We're surrendering so that we can virtue signal? I'd rather virtue signal. I'm going to give up feminism so that I can be a virtue signaler. Is that it? I mean, I don't understand it. I don't know what's going on. This is the biggest non sequitur that I know of right here. Gays for Hamas. No King's Rally, and then a King's Rally. There's a lot of bullshit. But when it comes right down to it, it's the women's lib women that fought for 30 or 40 or 50 years because they want to do everything men do. And now they do, and they're perfectly capable. They got what they wanted, rightfully. And now it's like they're giving it back. It's okay. We fought for women's track and field. Now we're going to let men join up and beat all the women and beat all their records. Shame. Shame on you women's livers. You should be fighting this. You should be leading. You should be on point with this. God damn, I don't. Man, I got warm things going up my back. Oh my God, dude. What is going on? It's very stupid. And if you are a woman that has always been strongly supportive of women's rights and women's liberation and women's athletics, and women's educations and everything else, this is a slap in your face. Men have no business in your locker rooms. Men have no business in your daughter's locker rooms. And men have no business out there with their twig and berries, swimming with your daughter in the pool, beating her. And taking her record away. Some of these women have held these records for 20 years. And these guys come and they sweep them all up. One guy swept up every record the school had in 2 years. Now, luckily, some of these places are going back and they're taking the men back out and putting the records back where they belong. We're starting to turn this around. But my God, do you know who needs to take the reins on this? Yes, the women's livers. You guys, I'm there too. Trust me, I'm supporting you 100%. But you need to tell your other women's livers, what are we doing? We need to go out and fight every day to keep men out of women's locker rooms. We need to fight every day to keep men out of women's sports. Period. That should be the job right there. Because if and the tide is turning. Trust me, had Kamala Harris won and we had 4 more years of wokeism and all the bullshit, I don't know what would have happened to women's athletics. Because there was 150,000 more men signing up as we speak. But everybody's starting to pull back on this because it is absolutely ignorant and stupid. Yeah, I'll never understand the whole thing. Yeah, there's a lot of things in the Muslim religion that are pretty messed up. It is the only of the 7 major religions. It's the only one that calls for violence outwardly, and it's the only one that says that if someone doesn't believe, Jesus taught, if someone doesn't believe, minister to them, talk to them, work with them, pray for them, and do the godly thing, which is to assist and help when necessary, and then back away, and the person has to have their own choices. That's being godly. Well, and Israel, same thing for the Jews. Their religion doesn't say if you're not a Jew or you don't believe what we believe, you get whacked. And Hinduism, none of the other ones, Buddhism, you can go through all the religions. There's only one of the major religions that advocates out and out violence against non-believers. Well, there you go. You saw that one pop up right there. Ellisville, you're about to get a pretty bad thunderstorm go right over your head. And there is rotation. There could be a tornado. And it's going to be just south of Laurel. It's going to go right over Ellisville and south of Laurel. And there is an airport in Laurel. I can't tell. It's obviously a regional airport. But it's going to come fairly close to the airport. They probably are shutting down operations there for a little while, I would assume. But anyway, yeah, here it is. It's going over Sand Hill right now. Quite a bit of rotation there. Let me see if I can get a second opinion. I got a radar that's actually closer. Yeah, there's a couplet there. There's a couplet there, and it's moving east right towards Ellisville. I don't even know that they're necessarily blind to it, is that they accept it. I think that it's not as much that they're blind to it as they accept it, because virtue signaling has become more important than even women's liberation itself. And I'll tell you, the women's libers are who I blame number 1. You know who I blame number 2? Men. Yes, fathers. I blame you. How can you let your daughter go in there and shower with boys? It's just not right. And look, when they're 18, they can shower with whoever they want. But when they're our kids, we have to protect them. And I'm telling you what, if my child, and I don't have children, I've been very clear about that. I don't have any legitimate or illegitimate children in this world. But no daughter of mine would have this. I'm telling you, she would not be allowed to be a part of this because it's completely wrong. And to put her out there, especially the girls that are joining, they're joining, the men are joining every kind of women's sports that there is. I've even heard of women's wrestling, and they're wanting to join that. I didn't even know there was such a thing. I guess it's big in West Virginia or something. I don't know. But anyway, the point is almost every sport out there, whether it be women's golf, there's a lot of high school leagues for golfing, women's volleyball. You get some 6'3" guy spiking the ball down on your daughter on the other side, and then he goes in and he showers with her. Hey, look at my twig and berries. Seriously? So I blame dads. Dads, you can't let this happen. You can't. I'm just saying, you can't. You can't let your school treat your daughter this way. I don't care if it's a public school. I don't care if it's a college or university. I don't care what it is. We've got to fight for our daughters, for our children to have fair athletics. Well, there you go. You'll make a lot more money in trucking. Yeah. Take my word for it. And I know times are tough everywhere, but take my word for it. You'll make a lot more money in trucking. You may have had a little more fun in radio, but you'll make a lot more money in trucking. Yep, I agree. It's true. America's always the bad guy. Doesn't it seem that way? Hey, good evening, Victor. How you doing tonight, buddy? We had a tornado emergency earlier. We're still watching this one winding out here. I think this is the one from earlier. Yes, this is the one from earlier. Went through Brookhaven, Monticello, went through Collins, and now it's coming up, and it's going to go right through Ellisville, south of Laurel in Mississippi. I think we're still in Mississippi. Yes, in Mississippi. I got scanners up, but they sure aren't saying much. No, yeah, our truckers are very important. And trust me, when you look at all the bullshit, you know, I drive between here and my cabin, and there's 3 of those stations where everybody has to pull over and have they get checked for horticulture. There's 3 of those between my cabin and my house. Not to mention about 15 or 20 weigh stations. They've got a weigh on the go on some of them, which is pretty good. But still, these guys get hassled constantly. And every time I get on the interstate there at Tucker's Grade or Trucker's Grade, there is the trooper in the pickup truck. He's the weights and measures trooper. And he's always sitting there busting trucks. That's all he does. And I tell you what, there was a time when I left the fire service that I was wanting to drive a commercial vehicle. I wanted to just do it for a couple of years so I could see the world. I already had a D license. I was going to go get my CDL. And I drove fire trucks for years, 20 years. I even taught the EVOC class. So I said, well, you know, I want to drive trucks because I want to see this country. I want to see from that corner to that corner. I want to see everything. And what kind of talked me out of it was the enforcement, the amount of bullshit you have to go through, all the testing and all the craziness that you have to go through. I think it's way too much. I think it's way, way, way over-regulated and an absolute mess. And what gets me is they treat our truckers like this every day with all this senseless regulation and all these senseless logbooks and this senseless bullshit that doesn't actually bring safety. What it does is it brings compliance with the government, and it brings fines and money. That's what it actually does. I don't believe we're a lot safer because of that. And what gets me is these states will give anybody a commercial driver's license, and then they come down here and drive in my county and run people over and kill them. And so I think we need to even this out. We need to be a lot more careful who we allow to get a CDL. But once you get a CDL, I think they need to let you go to work and leave you the F alone. Yes, it's way over-regulated. It's stupid over-regulated. Deploribus, I believe it. I didn't even know there was. See, down here, we don't have women's wrestling down here. I don't think. At least we didn't when I was in school. What kind of bullshit is that? How do you wrestle with a woman? And I don't mean to sound coy. but you're going to be touching her all over the place. It's wrestling. It's one thing when two guys do it. You know, you're wearing a cup. You could pretty much, you know, grab the guy all the different legal ways. But with women, it's different. They got more areas you can't touch and stuff when you're a guy. And I get that. I believe in it. I don't, like I said, I know it sounds corny to even say it the way I'm saying it, but think about it. How do you wrestle a woman without touching her all over the place? I don't think it's right. It's not right. You shouldn't be touching all over women. Maybe that's why you joined, you pervert. Anyway. Yeah, we're a patriotic bunch in here, I think. It may not be somebody's flavor of patriotism, but it sure is mine. I say it just the way it is. To me, this is all part of defending our country, is getting on here and sharing our views with each other. That's part of the great experience, you know? I think it's important, whether it's on terrestrial radio or television or YouTube or Instagram, I don't care, wherever else it is, it doesn't matter. The point is it's important that we stand up for what we believe in and that we talk to people about it. Even if your biggest pulpit that you have is the water cooler at work, you are still an advocate for what's right. So don't ever give it up. Take the opportunity and tell people how you feel. Be opinionated. There's nothing wrong with being opinionated. You can't do it all the time. You know, the boss walks in. But yeah. Well, some people do. See, I work at a conservative talk radio station. And although I feel that the TV stations that I work with there, they all lean a little left with their coverage. It's mostly because they use the Associated Press, and they also use Reuters, which are both far left. So even if they straighten it up a little bit, it still comes off as slanted left. But I worked with some leftists in my building, but everybody knows I produce the big conservative talk radio show in the afternoon. So if you're going to come talk to me about politics, you know what you're going to get, and you will get it. But no, I don't just go around spewing it. Well, thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. I think talking frankly is more important than anything else. This political correct bullshit. I don't know if you guys notice. I'm not falling to the woke political correctness. If something's retarded, I'm going to call it retarded. I don't use that term a lot because I have respect for those folks. But sometimes when something's really, really retarded, I'm just going to call it retarded. We got to quit being snowflakes. All right? I'm not saying I'm using racial slurs and stuff like that. But if something has to do with black folks, I call it out. That has to do with black folks. If it has to do with Muslims, I call it out. That has to do with Muslims. I don't beat around the bush, you know? And I also feel that when we're not willing to talk about subjects because they're sensitive, that's the worst thing. That's the worst thing, because those are the topics we need to talk about. You know? I find it refreshing to have frank conversations about other cultures. I love other cultures. I just don't want them coming here illegally. I love to talk about this stuff. I love to engage on it, and I call it out just as it is. I even do accents. I don't care. I do them on the air at work. I go, hello. No, you can't do that. I don't care. I don't care. I'm sick of people shutting people down because they say something funny about another group of people. You know what? Humor almost died. I want you guys to know that. You've heard the song, The Day the Music Died, American Pie, right? Bye, bye, Miss America Pie. Yeah, that song. Well, they can write another one because humor almost died. We almost lost comedy. It almost died. And then Trump gets back in the White House. Free speech gets shored up. And next thing you know, Dave Chappelle is back on the air. And everything is great. By the way, huge Dave Chappelle fan. Dave Chappelle is a pioneer in free speech. He's also one of the funniest comics on the planet. And I love Dave Chappelle. Chappelle Show, Chappelle Show. I used to love the Chappelle Show. I will admit, there's a certain amount of black comedy that I just absolutely love. And Living Color was one of my favorite shows. I used to love that show. And I still go back and watch them sometime. Fire Marshal Bill and all that. That was a funny show. I like to be able to talk about things frankly and not have to worry about, oh God, I made a reference and now everybody's going to hate me. You know, I don't, as long as we stay away from the hard racial slurs, we should be able to talk about whatever we want, you know, and it should be fine. And I think that's the way it should be. And that's the way I approach it. Trey makes fun of the retarded thing. He makes fun of that. He's like, we came on one day and he goes, hey guys, he goes, brace yourselves. You ready? Retarded. And everybody's like, ah. He goes, yep, we're bringing it back. You can use it on the radio again. It's literally that stupid, guys. They started giving everybody a hard time for using the word retarded. You know, when you say like the government just did something and, oh, that's retarded. It's a figure of speech. And yet they tried to erase that from our vernacular. You can't do that. You're offending retarded people. I'm like, I doubt the retarded people understand that they should be offended. But anyway, I get so sick of the sensitive snowflake bullshit. Just live with it. Life's a bitch. Live with it. Free speech is scary. Deal with it. We're getting humor back slowly. Comics are back doing shows again. Things are starting to pick up. The comedy room here is packing the house again. But you know what's changed? Most of them are conservative comics. That's what's big right now. Conservative comics are big right now, especially down in this town where 80% of us are conservative. Yes, that's all retard means is slow or inhibited growth. Whether it's a retarder for your transmission in your truck, or whether it's a retarder for your water, for your flow of your water into your system, whatever it is, or whether it's the kid down the street, all it means is someone who is, it means that they had some kind of inhibited growth, and they are not for their age, they're not of the proper mentality. That's all that means. Mentally challenged. I think we should start calling them mentally challenged and you save retard for government. Yeah, there's not. Let me tell you something. I had a friend down the street that was retarded when I was growing up. He was 3 or 4 years older than me. And he'd come down and I'd be working on my wires and working on my projects. And he'd hang out with me. He was a cool guy. His parents knew he came down and hang out with me. And I'd show him stuff. And everything was a wonder to him. That's what I loved about him. I could arc 2 wires together and it was the coolest thing he'd ever saw in his life. I could turn on a rotating light and it was the coolest thing he'd ever seen in his life. And I used to love that. I used to kind of live a little bit vicariously through him because while I'm sitting there working on stuff, I got to see it through his eyes. And I've always had a special place for Down syndrome people, whatever you want to call them. And I think they're great. But I also don't think that I shouldn't be able to use the word retarded to refer to my government. So there you go. That's how I feel about it. And I'm sticking to it. Yeah, I mean, that's 2 guys in a dog park and they exchange bullets over Donald Trump comments. That's ridiculous. It really is. And I hate to say it, but I can almost tell you who fired the first shot, but that's all right. There's only one party that's actively trying to assassinate right now. I want you to go back and think about this. In the last 50 years, there's only been one side that tries to assassinate, and they try over and over and over. Reagan, Trump, and a bunch more little ones that almost happened. There's been so many more attempts on Republicans' lives than Democrats. Why? Because the Democrats are crazy. Let me tell you something else. Do you know that if you're a liberal, you are 6 times more likely to be on depression medication than if you're a conservative? Actual fact. You are 6 times more likely to be on antidepressant medication if you're a liberal. Why? Because the liberals hate the country. They hate their life. They hate everything. They're negative. They don't like freedom. They don't feel like they've been given a fair shake in this world because a lot of them aren't that bright and they can't get good jobs. And so they begin to hate success. And once they start hating success, that leads them down that road where they hate anybody that's successful. And they begin to rally against anyone who's successful. And what does that turn into? Socialism. Because they weren't successful, they don't want anyone to be successful. That's socialism. Yeah, Kennedy was more than 50 years ago, but yeah, I mean, even though he was on the left, it very well could have been someone on the left that did him too. Yep. Yeah, I mean, even Lincoln was assassinated. He's a Republican. And I'm sure Wilkes Booth was on the other side. Yeah. Yeah, people don't realize that. The left fought for slavery. The left actually fought for slavery while Mr. Lincoln was trying to get rid of it. Mr. Lincoln, the Republican president, Lincoln, was trying to get rid of slavery, and you had leftists in the North and in the South trying to protect it. It's a fact. And then the Ku Klux Klan was started by leftists and run by leftists. The Grand Wizard, big leftists. And all that stuff they did, bunch of Democrats. That's right. No matter how far you go back, the Republicans have always wore the white hats. No matter how far. They're not perfect. Matter of fact, they suck sometimes. But they still have the right intentions. You know, sometimes the hero fails. But he's still the hero because he was doing it for the right reasons. And I think that's where we're at right now. We may try and fail, but at least we're pushing in the right direction. Away from the road to hell. Yep. That Snow, you've got it exactly right. Victimhood, narcissism, oppositional, defiant, disorder. That's them. That's liberalism. They're never happy. And I got news for you. If they got actual communism today, if I flipped the communist light switch and suddenly they had communism today, they would fight that too. They won't be happy. They're not going to be happy. These are miserable people. They don't want to be happy. Have you known those people in your life or maybe even in your family or at your work that they literally look for a reason to be mad? They don't want to be happy. They don't ever take vacation. But you know, there's actually about 20% of the humans out there, and most of them are liberal. The state of mind they prefer is being angry, being upset, being mad, turbulent thoughts. And there's 20 or 25% of humans out there that prefer to live in some state of anger. And they like to hang out with other people that are also living in that same state of anguish and anger. And then they feed upon each other. And social media has made this a lot worse. It's just amazing to me, really. I tell you, Virginia being so close to D.C. has just gone down the tubes. Yeah, that's the thing, Kevin. No matter what you do, they're not going to be happy. I've said this for a long time. Donald Trump could walk into a liberal's hospital room. They're dying of cancer. They have 12 hours to live. And Donald Trump could hand them a syringe with the cure of cancer in it, and they wouldn't take it. It's true. I mean, if Donald Trump cured cancer, there would literally have signs out there pro-cancer. Go cancer. Yeah. Ridiculous, isn't it? But that's how it is. No matter what Trump says, they're the exact opposite. Yep, I've seen that. I've seen that where they say that. And I would venture to say that white folks are somewhere in the middle on that scale. I'm not going to go into any more depth than that. I will tell you, when it comes to family, of all of the cultures that I have been had been exposed to over the years, I will tell you the most family-oriented culture that I've ever known is the Mexican people. They love their family. They're just very much so, more than us. They do. They're great with family. That's why I put white folks in the middle somewhere on that one. But anyway, such as it is. I'd love to see the Mexicans with their families, the mom and dad and 2 or 3 kids, and they just, I don't know, they have so much love for their family. It's just crazy. Yes, and there would be an activist judge that would actually put a restraining order on the cure for cancer because Trump came up with it. You're right. You're absolutely right. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to call it. I've done about 2.5. Yep, 2.5.
One car, 250 unknown injuries, Highway 84 and River Drive.
All right, guys. Yeah, I'm going to call it. Last minute for the chat. I'll play a song on the way out. I do thank everybody for being here. 2.5 hour broadcast. Yeah, Kevin, I don't, I know. I'm okay, though. I feel better. I got really sick 3 or 4 weeks ago, and then I went on that 12-day, very strenuous vacation, and I'm still recovering. My sinuses are still not 100%. My voice is still not 100%. But I feel pretty good. I've been okay. I didn't feel good earlier, but I'm feeling okay now. It kind of comes and goes. Truth is, I need to get my gallbladder taken out, and I've had 2 family members almost die from getting their gallbladder taken out, and a friend and a family member, and I just know that it's probably going to be the end of me when it happens. I had a family member, they went in to get the gallbladder, they went in orthoscopically, they took the gallbladder, and she went septic and almost died. It was moments away. I'm telling you, the care she got was pretty good and this and that, but they didn't get it all, and she about died. And I'm just like, well, I'm living with it. I know what to do when it flares up, and I'm just living with it. Well, I feel better now than at the beginning of the broadcast. Yeah. I had just ate some fried food before I come on, and sometimes that makes me a little queasy. Yes, I've never really done much with essential oils. I can't put them through the I can't nebulize them because I have cats, and you can't use oils with cats. But I know that there's other things you can do with those oils. Oh. Yeah. Well, and if I do have it taken out, I'm going to go in and I'm going to have them start me on they take it out and they don't start you on the antibiotics until after it's out and it becomes infected. And I'm going to make an agreement with them that I want to go on the antibiotics before or at the time of surgery. I don't want to run the risk of it getting bad before I know or whatever. And I also, once it's out, I want to come back for blood work every other day for 2 or 3 times to make sure that my white count doesn't go up. Like I said, my mom came home from the hospital and it about killed her. It was bad, and so I can't go through that. Yep. Yeah, they put me on a cocktail last time. One of them looked like Mountain Dew. It was IV, and the other one I think was a pill. But they literally were giving me an IV that looked like it had Mountain Dew in it. I kept joking with them. I said, hang me another Mountain Dew. I'm thirsty. You can pre-treat with anti-infectives. Yes, I agree. I've looked into it, and that's what I want to do. I literally want to get it on board early so that when the surgery happens, I've already got the antibiotics on board. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The good news is it is orthoscopic. It's 2 or 3 holes. But see, there's bad to orthoscopic. Back when they would open you up, they could check it all out and clean you all out. Orthoscopically, I really don't know how successful they can be at getting all of a rotten thing out of you. Yep. Well, when I do it, that will be the deal. I want to get a doctor that's going to allow me to pre-treat with both antibiotics, so that I can make damn sure that I don't die. I'm just not quite ready yet. I really believe that I got something here with this YouTube channel. I literally just have to keep working every day, even though my subscriber numbers have been going down now for 3 weeks. I'm trying not to get discouraged. Yep. We got a lot of anniversaries coming up, guys. I don't know if you know this or not. September, we've got the, God, do you believe it? The 25th anniversary of 9/11? 25 years ago, 9/11. We've got the Star Trek 60th anniversary of the first day it took to air in September, early September 9th, I think, or something. It's Star Trek Day, 60th anniversary of the original open of the Salt Vampire, which aired on NBC and was made in Desilu Studios. And that's coming up 60 years. And, of course, the big one, July 4th, 250 years. This country's been here. 250 years. Yeah, deploribus, my sub increases are directly dependent on new breaking news, and I understand that. That's why I'm saying I'm not getting discouraged. I have to work at not getting discouraged, but I'm not getting discouraged. As we get something, you know, we picked up thousands of subscribers when the hurricane was hitting Japan, or I'm sorry, Jamaica, give or take 100 miles, or 10,000. Anyway, yeah, I do. I'm remaining positive. I am. I trust me. If you would sit there for 3 weeks and watch your subscriber numbers falling and falling every day, I lose 20 more, 20 more, 20 more. It gets depressing. And I mean, I protract it out, and I'm like, literally, if I don't do something to ebb this off, I'll be under 20,000 again. I mean, it's crazy. I think the odds of a post-operative infection are pretty good. I don't know. How do you compare that? Is 1 out of 100 pretty good? I don't know. See, I don't know how to quantify that. But I do know it's a problem. It certainly has gotten much better over the years. Tea, Earl Grey, hot. The preferred drink of Jean-Luc Picard. Yeah, well, I'm not giving up. You guys, if I was going to give up, I would have done it 2 years ago. Trust me. I've had this channel almost 6 years now. I've got like 1,400 videos. Trust me, if I was going to give up, I'd have already done it. I'm in for the long. Because I believe once I can get up to a couple 100,000, I build the van and I go on the road, and then I can get a lot more because I'll be doing adventure stuff every day. In 2 or 3 years, I plan to quit my job and leave in the van. And I've got a home base in Alabama with friends. I've got a home base in my cabin in North Georgia, and I've got a home base here with this property here plus my family's property. So I've got all these great places where I can go and pull in and park and sit for a week and then hit the road again and go out. And I plan to go all the way to the other coast. I'm going to go behind enemy lines in the California. It's going to be fun. So I have big plans, big goals, and I plan to make those. You guys have seen in the closer that van that drives by with the weird things on the roof. That's the van. It's white with a red stripe. I've already got it all figured out. I've already got all the plans made for it. I think that it's important to have goals, and it's important to stay with those goals, you know. And a lot of times people will do something for 10 years before all of a sudden one day someone notices. And one day one video goes viral, and that's all it takes. And now you've got it. Now you're on the road. Everything's good. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. Is I'm just literally in coast right now, working hard every day, so that the day that is my day to be the big day, I'll be ready, and I'll be able to do it. Let me see here. Yep. Let me see. I'll show you guys this. This is kind of where we're at. I know some of you have already seen this, but this is... This is the floor plan for the van, so you guys can see what I'm building. I'm making it out of like a plumber's van, It's going to be an unfinished van where the whole back of it basically is unfinished. And then I'm going to finish it myself or have it finished. I'll probably have a cabinet shop build the cabinets. And then we'll install, it's going to have 2 supercomputers in it. It's going to have a complete 3 cellular system with Starlink. It's going to be completely self-contained, batteries, solar panels, small generator, the whole bit. Yeah, so you got to kind of, you know. Now, as far as what it's going to look like inside, well, I don't have any exact pictures. Hold on just a second. Let me get rid of this. And then let me see if that will go up over there now. Yep, there we go. This is kind of give you an idea of what it's going to look like inside. Under the bed's going to be the batteries and the converter boxes and all the gear. And you'll access that from the back door. I know these pictures don't make any sense, but they do kind of give you an idea of what it's going to look like in there. They don't really make sense, but you get the idea of, like I said, the general layout of what it's going to look like in there. As far as your connections go, I've got all the schematics pretty much laid out here. It's going to have a production board. It's going to have ham radios. It's going to have 2 supercomputers. It's going to have 110 power plus 12 volt. It'll have both, so that way I can do whatever I need to do. But yeah, you can see there I've put a lot of planning into it. This gives you an idea of what equipment's going to be on it and how that's going to look. And finally, I'll show you what it looks like. But here's the thing. AI does not make pictures with the sliding door on the right side. I could not get it to do it. So all my picture examples here actually have the door on the left side. The door will actually be on the right side. So I want to clarify that. But that's what it's going to look like. That will be the unit right there. It's going to have solar panels. It's going to have a weather station on the roof. It's going to be completely self-contained. And the van itself, brand new, is about 50 grand. I don't have to get a new one, though. I mean, it'll depend on where the money's at when I start building it. But that's what it's going to look like. It's going to have a full set of amateur radio equipment in it. And it'll have everything I need to do this show. In everything, it will all be in there. But that's pretty much what it's going to look like. It's going to be a very cool looking system inside there. And then I plan to drive this across the country and meet you guys. I think the neatest thing in the world would be for me to set it up with you one day and just stop by your house. And you come out, we hang out, talk for a while, start the show up. You can help me pre-show, and we'll start the show, and we'll do a 2 or 3 hour show together. We'll do whatever topic you want to do that night, and then I'll sleep out in the van in your driveway, and I'll say goodbye in the morning. And we'll go on to the next place. I don't need to come inside your house, eat a meal, meet your dog, none of that unless you want me to. But I would be self-contained, and I would like to drive to each person's home or wherever and I could meet you somewhere, pick you up. We could do it however you want to do it. And I want to do my show with everybody, different people every week. I think it would be great. I think it would be awesome. And obviously I'll be discreet about where I'm at and all that kind of stuff. Yep, and I'll have at least 1 or 2 cats with me. I don't know which ones. Mama Bleep's about 10, and Ed's about 12, and Daddy Kitty's, or Ed's about 10 or 11. Daddy Kitty's 12. So whichever of those three are still around will be with me. All these cats start out as a bunch of inbred street cats that I take in. And so they never quite live to be 20, you know what I mean? So I don't know what I'm going to get out of them. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to just get out on the road. It's just going to be fun. All right, guys, I guess that's about it. This guy, I don't know who he is. Last week it was that liberal woman with the maps. And now this week it's the other guy there that you just saw. I don't know what the deal is with him. Get out of here. All right. Isn't that right, Mama Bleep? Are you going to say goodnight to everybody or not? No. She just opened one eye and looked at me like, I'm sleeping, dude. Seriously. I'm totally sleeping. But yep, that's the plan. And also, if you got stuff in your town, I'll stay over. We'll do 2 shows. And we'll go the next day and we'll shoot a bunch of video in your town. It's all about the adventure. State parks, federal parks, hell, theme parks, whatever. I don't care. I want to see the world. And I want you guys to be my tour guides. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Everybody has a town with some neat stuff to see in it. It's always nice when you have somebody from that town to go show you around a little bit. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. I've been on for 2 hours and almost 50 minutes. 50 minutes. So coming up on 3 hours. I do appreciate everybody being here tonight, especially with the storm coverage and everything. And we're going to see you guys tomorrow night again, right here on the Sights and Sounds of Earth. I hope that you guys have a great night out there and a safe tomorrow. And just keep your chin up, you know, no matter what happens. Just keep your chin up. There's a certain song I was going to play. I'm looking for it.
Midwest 2026. While real Americans work, some are out there waving red flags. This one's for the patriots. Well, it's Mayday again and the usual crowds out, marching through our cities with their communist shout, waving hammers and sickles, burning our flag, screaming workers of the world, while real folks just gag. They hate this country, that much is clear. They spit on Old Glory every single year. In a capitalism, anti-freedom, anti-Trump, just a bunch of spoiled brats throwing one big tantrum. These Mayday rallies are anti-American trash, communist clowns doing the red flag smash. They hate our freedom, they hate our way of life. They'd rather burn it down than see this country thrive. But we stand tall with the red, white, and blue. Trump's in the White House and we're coming through. The right's on the right side, fighting for what's true, while the left keeps backing every tyrant in view. They scream workers over billionaires with their iPhones in hand, funded by elites who own half the land. Pro-Hamas, pro-Maduro, pro-every damn dictator, while real Americans stand with the liberator. Trump derangements in country thrive. But we stand tall with the red, white, and blue trumps in the White House, and we're coming through. The right's on the right side, fighting for what's true, while the left keeps backing every tyrant in view. They shut down cities, block roads, and hurt working folks, while real Americans keep the engine full throttle and stoked. They want open borders, they want chaos and pain. They cheer when America's losing the game. From New York to LA to Chicago town, they're out there screaming death to America with a frown. But we built this nation with blood, sweat, and tears, and we ain't letting these radicals steer. The right fights for freedom, for God, and for country. We stand with the good guys, the righteous, the plenty. The left always picks the wrong side of history. They fight from the moral low ground, that's their misery. They back the oppressor, the terrorist crew, while we stand with the people who love red, white, and blue. So wave your flags higher, patriots don't bend. These Mayday losers don't speak for real Americans. They're a loud, angry minority throwing their fit, while the silent majority's sick of their shit. Trump's making us strong, bringing jobs back home. They scream in the streets cause it hurts their syndrome. We love this country, we'll fight for her still, the greatest nation, and we always will. These Mayday rallies are anti-American trash, communist clowns doing the red flag smash. They hate our freedom, they hate our way of life. They'd rather burn it down than see this country thrive. Oh, but we stand tall with the red, white, and blue trumps in the White House, and we're coming through. The right's on the right side, fighting for what's true. The left's on the wrong side, and we're coming for you. Yeah, we're the good guys. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. And to hell with your communist Mayday dreams.
This is the YouTube channel Starship Adventures, broadcasting live from Starship Studios in North Fort Myers, Florida, in the United States of America. We thank you for joining us this evening for another broadcast of the Sights and Sounds of Earth, covering every breaking news story across this troubled planet of ours. We brought you the raw, unfiltered pulse of the world in real time through our unique multi-screen format, broadcasting in high definition worldwide via fiber optic connection. Starship Adventures, a new kind of YouTube content. To our regular viewers, our loyal crew members, our amazing moderators, and everyone who tunes in each night at 9 p.m. Eastern, we thank you. Your support keeps this independent voice alive and well. We'll be back tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. Eastern with another live edition of the Sights and Sounds of Earth, right here on Starship Adventures. Until then, stay safe, stay informed, and may God bless you and these United States of America. This is Starship Adventures, and this concludes our broadcast day. Good night, America, and around the world. Kilo Oscar 4, Echo Foxtrot Sierra. Signing off. QSY, 7-3s, everyone, 7-3s.
Bye.